The paranoia in that room was just off the charts. One of these billionaires, a CEO of a massive brokerage firm, actually leans in and asks this exact question. When the event happens and our money is worthless, how do we stop our armed security guards from turning on us and taking everything? Rushkoff was just left completely speechless. Think about that for a second. These aren't fringe conspiracy theorists sitting in a basement. These are the very men who build the platforms we use every single day, the architects of our digital world. Yet behind closed doors, they aren't dreaming up a bright, shiny future. They're obsessively trying to figure out how to hide from the rest of us.
So what are they so terrified of? Well, they casually refer to it as the event. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? But it's actually an umbrella term for a total societal collapse. We're talking an environmental disaster, widespread social unrest, nuclear war, or some unstoppable virus that just permanently alters the world. And these incredibly powerful tech executives, the people holding the reins of our global systems, are dumping vast fortunes into preparing for it. They are quite literally building doomsday bunkers.
To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this prepping, let's just look at one number: $270 million. And no, that's not the budget for the next Marvel movie. That is the estimated cost of a single, highly secretive compound being built by Mark Zuckerberg out in Hawaii.
So what exactly does $270 million buy you? Well, Zuckerberg's fortress sits on 1,400 acres of land. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the size of 3 New York Central Parks combined. And hidden underneath 2 massive mansions, connected by tunnels, is a 5,000-square-foot underground bunker. This thing is blast-resistant, filled with concrete, and completely self-sustaining. It's got its own energy, water, and food supplies. It even has a secret escape hatch. And the level of secrecy surrounding it is absolute. Every single painter, carpenter, and electrician on site is locked down by strict non-disclosure agreements. If they breathe a word about what they're building, they face severe legal consequences.
But Zuckerberg definitely isn't the only one doing this. If we leave Hawaii and head over to Kansas, we find a totally different but equally fascinating approach to billionaire survival: decommissioned Cold War nuclear missile silos. Originally, these were built to take a direct hit from the Soviets, but a developer named Larry Hall bought one of these 200-foot-deep silos for around $300,000 and completely transformed the place.
These units are buried deep underground and can hold up to 75 people, fully stocked with a 5-year food supply. But they are definitely not roughing it down there. The luxury amenities are downright absurd. We're talking a tropical-themed swimming pool, a full cinema, a rock climbing wall, a bar, and, get this, an indoor dog park. Obviously, when you're hundreds of feet underground, you don't have windows, so they installed fake windows with TV screens that broadcast live feeds of what the outside world looks like. These units run anywhere from $1.5 to $3 million, and the craziest part? They are completely sold out. There's literally a massive waiting list just to get one.
Okay, but if you think $3 million is a steep price tag for a bunker, you really haven't seen anything yet. We've got to travel to the Czech Republic to look at the absolute pinnacle of luxury survival. It's called the Oppidum, and it is currently billed as the world's largest private luxury bunker.
So what does the ultimate doomsday escape look like? The Oppidum has a staggering 77,000 square feet of underground living space. And because you might be down there for a long time, they've set up simulated sunrises, sunsets, and changing seasons just to keep your body's circadian rhythm normal. It holds a 10-year stockpiled food supply plus a massive wine cellar. Above ground, you've got a golf course and a helipad. Below ground, a full hospital, a dentistry clinic, and multi-layered biometric security that literally requires iris and palm scans just to get past the blast doors. But here is the most incredible detail. From our sources, you couldn't buy a spot in this bunker even if you wanted to. Why? Because a single billionaire reportedly bought the entire property just for his family and friends.
All of this brings us to a pretty stark realization. While regular citizens are basically just hoping for the best if the event ever happens, tech billionaires are living in a completely different reality. For them, survival isn't just about pouring thicker concrete, it's heavily tied to their extreme wealth and their geopolitical influence. They aren't just buying underground bunkers anymore, they are treating entire countries as backup plans.
Take Peter Thiel, for example, the co-founder of PayPal and Palantir. He didn't just buy 477 acres of pristine land in New Zealand. He went a step further and actually acquired citizenship.
While everyday folks wait years and years to navigate the immigration system, Thiel was granted citizenship in just 11 months, utilizing a special clause for exceptional circumstances. He's publicly called New Zealand the future, and other tech execs have openly referred to having property there as the ultimate billionaire insurance policy. For the ultra-wealthy, a whole nation basically becomes a personal USB backup drive.
And look, it's not just the older guard of the tech world doing this either. Sam Altman, the creator of ChatGPT and a massive driver of the whole AI revolution, has openly talked about his own intense prepping habits. Check out his survival kit. He stocks up on gold, guns, and gas. And maybe most tellingly, he keeps a stash of potassium iodide, which is a supplement specifically used to prevent damage from nuclear radiation. He also maintains this remote getaway retreat in Big Sur, California, and has actually talked about seriously considering building his own bunker. Not even necessarily because of AI going rogue, but just because of the increasing global threats of war and instability.
Which brings us right back to that bizarre desert meeting with Professor Rushkoff, and a profound, honestly, kind of ironic twist. Looking at all this frantic preparation, Rushkoff realized something absolutely crucial. You really have to ask yourself, are these billionaires merely hiding from the event, or are their own actions exactly what is creating it?
Our sources point out the tragic irony of what these specific men actually built. Mark Zuckerberg built social media, which critics strongly argue has fueled misinformation, sparked massive social unrest, and weakened democratic institutions worldwide. Peter Thiel built Palantir, which is essentially mass surveillance software that some argue has empowered authoritarianism. Sam Altman built Advanced AI, which right now carries these massive threats of widespread job loss and the potential to wipe out the entire knowledge economy. As Rushkoff so brilliantly points out, the very technologies they unleashed on the world are arguably driving the exact societal decay they are now spending fortunes to hide from.
And the craziest part? Rushkoff didn't hold back. Sitting right there at that round table in the middle of the desert, he looked at these 5 billionaires and delivered this absolute truth to their faces. He said, "The event you are so afraid of is created by you. It's your problem and you can solve it." He basically told them to use their immense power and wealth to fix the world right now, instead of just planning to abandon it later. And their reaction? Rushkoff noted that they simply looked away. They just pivoted right back to asking him questions about bunkers and security guards. They couldn't or just wouldn't deny their complicity, but they clearly had zero intention of changing course.
But here's the thing. For all their vast wealth, all their blast-proof concrete doors, and all those fancy multi-biometric scanners, there's one undeniable reality that absolutely no billionaire can escape. As our source material so poignantly notes, we all go underground eventually. Whether it's in a multi-million-dollar luxury bunker or just a simple grave, mortality comes for everyone.
To really capture this idea of the ultimate equalizer, our source draws upon a profound piece of religious wisdom from Surah al-Homazah. It states it so perfectly. Woe to every scorner and mocker who collects wealth and continuously counts it, thinking their wealth will make them immortal. It speaks directly to this illusion we've been talking about, this idea that hoarding endless resources can somehow let you buy an escape hatch from the human condition.
The text then goes on to describe an ultimate consequence, referred to as the Crusher, or Al-Hutama. It represents this unstoppable divine reality that no amount of concrete, no 10-year stockpile of freeze-dried food, and no private army can ever withstand. And that leaves us with a pretty heavy lingering thought. If the men who actually have the power and resources to change the world are instead choosing to just hide from it, what does that mean for the rest of us? And ultimately, when the final event actually does come, will all that money have bought them anything at all? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the systems around you, and I'll see you in the next one.